And we roll again. Here's Alex from Blacksheep IT Consulting, and we have successfully installed a Siebel database. We have done the new Siebel database install on an Oracle 23 AI free database running inside Podman for Windows. Yes, that's the container running that database. And yeah, we have all seen it already, but let me just run this terminal command again, making sure the database is up and running. And we have, for example, a S user table, because that S user table is going to be important in the next step. So it should be Siebel S user. Okay. Yeah, that's of course why. And that means we have to alter the session, set the container to FreePDB1. And now we can run that again. Just was in the wrong pluggable container. So that's life. Okay, there is really a Siebel S user in the free PDB pluggable database. So that is the result, of course, of the installation. And there are, for example, there's the admin user in there, which is the important seed user for the Siebel administrator, as we all know. Then we have, of course, successfully installed a Siebel enterprise component installation. That's the official name. Yeah. So this means we have a Siebel SES folder with all the good binaries from 2512 ready to run. And we have two Tomcat servers because we configured them already. This is an internal Tomcat and an external Tomcat. So let me start those because they are on manual mode. Later on we have a script to start them automatically. And so now we should be able to log into the Siebel Management Console the first time. So the only application that's available on the external Tomcat when it's freshly installed is the SMC, Siebel Management Console. So let's open a browser. Oh, here's the Siebel Hub homepage. That's good. Your #1 training provider for Siebel CRM, but let's go to the official URL. So that's the local machine name. And Siebel and SMC, and we should get a response. Well, the response is not inviting. Your connection is private because the certification authority is invalid. So the browser doesn't like the certification authority, which is good because it's a self-signed. So I can just ignore this and still go there. Here's the login page. So SMC is running, but let's take care about that not secure flag here. I just download the certificate from the browser, and this is the root certificate that I'll export here. Let's put it in downloads, and we can now trust it. So of course only do this if you really trust it, but I can, for example, install the certificate here on Windows. Let's do it for the local machine. And we place it in the trusted root certification authorities. So next time we start the browser, it's going to trust this self-signed, self-created certificate authority. So let's try that. Let's do a favorites first. Call that SMC. Okay, let's open the browser again. And this time we get a connection secure. So that's of course always good to have, so your browser is trusting your environment. Okay, having that out of the way, well, we have to log in with the primordial user ID. Remember that one? When we installed Siebel back like 3 weeks ago was a different person, and they forgot to write up that password for the primordial user, and then you're really screwed because it's in a text file, but it's encrypted. Well, if you remember the password, like I do, hopefully, then you can log in with the primordial user. So what's this all about? This is the SMC is on its own. It doesn't even know where to connect to. So if we log in with that user, it asks us, where should I connect to? So we have to set up the gateway. The first step to set up the gateway is identify the host. Sorry for that. And the host is, of course, a machine where the internal Tomcat is running and waiting to become the first of maybe more gateway servers, because there will be a gateway cluster eventually. So let's give it a machine name. So you need the machine name, the host name, a colon, and the HTTPS port of that internal Tomcat. And of course it's HTTPS, so if you mess up your certificates, this will not work. And then you need a TLS listener port, or a very ambiguous description. Almost every listener port is TLS these days, but this is going to be a port on that internal Tomcat that is going to listen for, well, TLS connections from other Siebel components like Siebel servers for authentication, or the SMC when you log in. So choose this port wisely. I use the good old Siebel port number 2320. Make sure that port is available. So let's click Save. And if the certificates play along, these two servers, the AI and the internal Tomcats, trust each other, we get to the second step. So first step is out of the way. Second step is creating this security profile. Now we need something to help us authenticate users that connect to the gateway. That's why the profile is called gateway. You can't change that name. You have to add a data source. Click plus. Then expand that, and you have a data source definition for where the gateway will connect to, and it will use this connection to authenticate the user. So in database authentication mode, it will actually locate the user, and if it has to be a Siebel database and the user has to be in that database actively, so it has to have a correct responsibility. So that's of course a typical Siebel way. You can choose basic mode for development only, that's recommended here, and you have to provide the host name, port number, database type, and so forth. So practically that's everything that's in your TNS names. Oh, remember the TNS names? We have an environment variable on that system called TNS admin. So that's because Oracle clients love this environment variable because they know where to look for the TNS names and other stuff. So I could do this, of course, and go to this folder, which definitely proves that there is the TNS names. And in that TNS names, there is my service description. So this is the alias, and this is the whole service description. So it's, yeah, port 1521, free PDB1 is the service name. So I could just put all this here and then duplicate the information. I don't want this. I have the TNS names, the TNS admin environment variable. So I switch to advanced mode, still Oracle database, and the connection string, well, I could just, again, duplicate the information and take out this description. But then, what if any connection information changes? I have to go to two places. I have to go to TNS names Aura, and I have to go here in, and it's not easy to actually change the security profile because that's not secure, right? So in advanced mode, if you have the TNS admin environment variable, you can just pick that alias, really that alias, and put it in here. So the JDBC client on the gateway will just pick it up. Now we still need a table owner, which we have designated as Siebel. So this is the easiest way. You have the connection information stays in one place in that folder, which is indicated by the TNS admin environment variable. And once you click next, well, we have to get a name here, of course. Once you click next, you choose your mode, which is advanced mode, and you pick your just created database security adapter. That's the responsibility the user must have. Siebel administrator is fine. You can comma separate it later, change it later. I'll show you how to change the security profile. And we are going to have a test user. And, well, the only valid test user at this moment is admin because it's a fresh Siebel database. And fingers crossed, check the password, click save. That should now work. That should authenticate against the database, and it was successful. We can save the password. Yes, it was successful. Log in with the new credentials, that is, with your real database credentials, to the next step. Okay, now we're logging in as sadmin with the sadmin database password. The primordial user we no longer need. Click login. And we're on step 3 of the bootstrap, the final step. The registry port, when Oracle says registry, translate that to zookeeper. So we are creating the zookeeper registry, and it needs a port to listen on. Remember 2320 we have used, so we must use a different port. 2330 is free. The registry, the zookeeper, will have a user account that can connect to it. This is the user account for zookeeper. Most people keep using sadmin, and that password is going to be the zookeeper side password. It's not the database password. So if you change your sadmin database password, this one does not change on zookeeper, so you have 2 different passwords. Don't confuse yourself. Write that down. Put it in a safe place in a vault where people can look it up. Okay, primary language, keep English. So this creates the zookeeper registry, and it also creates a service. So let's quickly go to the services and refresh. You see popping up the Siebel Gateway Registry. That's the Windows service that it creates that controls zookeeper. If you stop that service, zookeeper stops. If you start that service, zookeeper starts. So that's just a wrapper service. And zookeeper must be up and running right now because that service is started. So let's try, see the task manager. Go to details. And we can see, well, let's sort by name. There should be a Java executable. And that task manager needs a bit of help here. Let's just add a column. We need the command line. Where's that? Here. Okay. Let's put that file. Yep, and that only Java executable right now is, as you can see, running from the gateway server bin, and there's a zookeeper library. So yeah, that's zookeeper running as a Java executable on this machine. So our SMC has switched to normal mode, so it's ready now. It has connected successfully to a Siebel registry, and that means the registry, zookeeper, is ready to host one Siebel enterprise. There's no enterprise. Within the enterprise, we can have the Siebel servers and so forth. So these first 3 steps is what we refer to as the bootstrap. That is, it's now ready. The boots are strapped up, ready to go. And one thing should be included in the bootstrap. Oracle has put it in documentation, buried it somewhere, Most admins tend to forget this, so let's not forget going to Settings. This is where you can refresh the configuration, view any logs, remove that gateway, so go back to square one literally. And down here are the gateway safe mode credentials. They are empty. Remember when I said I will show you how to change the gateway security profile? Then you have to go here first, and that requires you are logged in successfully, so your security profile is working. And while it's working, don't forget to edit this once. Make yourself the current user, the gateway safe mode user, so it uses your user ID. Enter a password that you can remember or document as the gateway safe mode credential. Make sure to document that well with your team and save that. So what you've done now is create a safe mode credential setting in Zookeeper. And there's only one way to log in with these safe mode credentials. I'll show you. So let's log out. And instead of logging in from here, from that login HTML page, you change that HTML page to safe mode HTML. So that's a different login page. And now you log in with the safe mode user. It's admin, but it might be a different password. I use the same password, so I should get in and see what happens. In safe mode, you can do only one thing. You can create a security profile gateway. So you can override the existing gateway security profile, or basically create a new one with fresh information. So for example, your mode of authentication has changed, your database information has changed whatsoever. So if you find yourself in that situation where you cannot log into SMC because your gateway security profile is broken, or the communication or whatever information is needed, then if you have the safe mode credentials, you can just get in. If you don't have the safe mode credentials at that point, you're definitely screwed. You have to call in Oracle support. They tell you how to connect to Zookeeper at the low level. Log into Zookeeper is definitely possible, and then do some JSON base64 acrobatics to get this done. But this is much easier. Okay, we just go back and go to SMC. Right away, normal SMC, log in, and still confirm, well, everything's up and running. Our Siebel Zookeeper registry is ready to go for the first enterprise deployment and first Siebel server. So then in the next video, of course, we are going to establish our first enterprise, the initial enterprise that we can then build out or just use. If it's a development environment, you probably just need one server. But if it's test or production, you just get started with one Siebel server and then you build out 10 or 20 Siebel servers, maybe. Okay, so this was the Bootstrap demo. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.